Welcome to the celebrated nightly news of Calaveras County.
Yes.
And
I'm still playing with my
playing around with her computer. Yeah. But we have some additions. One of the things is we now have a second monitor behind us.
Right.
That we're not going to do much more than show titles on tonight, but those are prettier than the ones we had before. Are those pretty? See,
look how nice this is.
Very nice.
We're like the big boys now.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far, but
we're almost there. Hey, you know.
And today was one of those days in the county that it was kind of a peaceful, calm day. It was kind of a peaceful, smooth day. Bret Hart started back to school today, and we were stopped by there on the way back up, and the football team was out practicing, and everything was back, and it's kind of nice, you know, kind of nice to see it back in the groove, so to speak.
When school starts again, it's like everything, life just starts again. You know, it's kind of a funny
circadian rhythm.
That's right.
Not that I feel like a...
You have a rhythm?
Yeah, and I don't. But people are,
most people do, but...
Not me. No, I have no rhythm of any sort at any time.
We're still waiting to see the river dance.
Oh,
yes,
okay. That may take a while.
That's the holiday river dance.
That may take a while.
Yeah, so Bret Hart is back in school, and there's only a few schools left.
Yeah, do you want to see? She's our resident policy wonk and county.
Supposedly.
Yes.
Supposedly. That's what he tells me. I'm not sure about that.
Well, I guess there was some community development stuff, wasn't there?
There was supposed to be there still is going to be a planning commission, county planning commission meeting tomorrow.
Right.
But a lot of the big developments were actually pulled.
And so they pushed those back.
They pushed those back to September 6th. And because my computer is not up quite and running, so
Wallace Lake, let's see. Yeah, plenty push.
We'll have John tell you which ones they were.
North Vista Plaza was continued until the 6th. Crestview Estates will be scheduled at a date to be named later.
Exactly.
And Gold Strike Heights continued to September 6th as well.
Yes, and those were the big ones.
Yeah, and Wallace Lake Estates, public hearing on this one was originally for August 14th. It's been pushed until the 25th. And to about
August.
September 25th. And this is to allow for independent review of water data.
Oh, okay.
Because at this one, CCWD was there, and they were actually wanting to make sure that surface water was counted into the equation. And originally this is all
not just the underground water. Okay. Because as we stated probably earlier this week, I think it was, about the difference between who has jurisdiction over surface water and groundwater. And the water district, CCWD, has jurisdiction over surface water. County has jurisdiction over underground water.
Right.
So you have two jurisdictional
you probably figured that
issues. So we talked about
entity was
fire,
trying to
fire jurisdiction this week, and also
this is
water.
Is this really good TV? Yeah, it's like let's talk jurisdictional war.
Yes.
No, that's my water. No, that's mine.
Exactly. Actually, also you can now view the Arnold Community Plan online. Which is a very cool thing.
It is, and it's been conspicuous by its absence. Because there's been some of the other community plans there.
Yes.
And it was missing.
So it is now up on the county's website, Community Development Department's website, and you can access it and find out exactly what the community plan says.
And the interesting thing is it's kind of a snapshot in time, too, because wasn't this completed in 98?
I believe it was, and it was one of the most recent community plans to be completed. With a lot of the other community plans, I mean, some of them were back in the 80s they were completed, and possibly
some of those
coming back up the pipeline.
Some of those are still right on.
Some of them are.
Some of them have aged pretty well.
Some of them have. They have.
Unlike me. But also down tonight, and in fact, right now as we speak, the new Copperopolis Town Square is getting basically its first public airing.
That's right. That's right. You went by and the roads were paved a couple days ago.
Yeah, so they should be. So it should be the 6 p.m. tour.
That's right. That's right. 6 p.m. tour of Coppertown Square. And actually on Channel 7, they had a little sort of vignette of Coppertown Square a couple weeks ago, which was sort of a nice little walk around. Dave Haley from Castle and Cook walked. And
Paul Moeller did a nice piece.
Paul Moeller around, and it was a very nice piece. Exactly, it showed you exactly what they were doing and what they were intending to do, and then on top of that, or following that, was a piece with CCWD Director Ed Rich showing how in Coppertown Square they were using recycled water.
So you've got to highlight some of that, those aspects
the purple
of the project
pipes and the white
well.
pipes and that type of thing.
And don't drink from the purple ones.
Don't
drink purple water. Yes.
It's very clean though. It's very clean reclaimed water.
But some of those reclaimed water, it's actually, it's almost
potable. Yes, exactly.
It went from pot to, never mind.
Okay.
Couple little. Today was kind of Public Notice Day.
It was.
There's another one up on the site where there's a public meeting concerning fire protection and water supply in the Hathaway Pines area. And this one is scheduled for Tuesday, August 21st at 6 p.m.
Yes.
And that will be held at the Ebbets Pass Fire. Sorry about that.
I think it's yawning night for
John,
actually.
Ebbets Pass Fire District Station, located at 137 Blagan Road. So the new fire station will be the site of the
meeting
for Hathaway Pines. And for some reason I have this little glitch. If I read or something, I get this yawning thing. So it's kind of like, in some ways,
you just have to memorize now.
So if it's like Tourette's, at least I don't shout out obscenities. I may just occasionally yawn. So it's like
okay.
It's my own version of Tourette's syndrome.
It's your own personal version of Tourette's. Okay.
I think it's better than some of them.
That's right. That's right. That's true. That's true. And in case you haven't noticed, the State Fair is actually starting this weekend. California State Fair in
Calaveras County hopes to do well.
They hope to do very well. The director of the Chamber of Commerce, Victoria Erickson, is hoping to go for the gold this year. And she's very excitable about it.
One other thing is we are one of the only counties that mans their booth all the time.
That's true. That's true. We have volunteers
that
go down
commitment.
there. Exactly. They get free tickets to the fair, and they also get a T-shirt, is my understanding.
So there's an ulterior motive.
But they still have to work, like their shifts. But this year, the Chamber actually, they partnered with the Visitors Bureau.
They did.
And they also hired a sort of a builder. Or a designer,
kind of a consulting firm,
like a designer to design the exhibit. And I have to say, there are lots of little frogs on it.
Lots of frogs.
Lots of frogs. And I'm not going to say anything more because you have to go down, you have to actually see it. But apparently, it is just amazing.
Lots of frogs?
There's lots of frogs.
Well,
They came back to the frog theme this year.
You would think that.
And apparently, it is just an amazing little exhibit, or should I say, large.
So it's not the Orcart again?
No, although the Orcart was very cool.
Yeah, I thought
was very cool.
I thought the Orcart was.
You thought that was the pinnacle of.
Well, I thought it was pretty cool.
It was very cool.
Thematically, it fit the county.
It was very cool.
I thought this is another little thing. And this is...
they changed it this year back to the frog theme.
Which makes sense.
Maybe next year they'll do the mining theme again.
And they could combine them.
They could actually. They could have little frogs, animated frogs mining next year.
And also another little thing is volunteers are needed at New Maloney's Lake. And the Bureau of Reclamation's New Maloney's Lake Recreation Resources Branch Office is sponsoring a local trail development event this year as part of the National Public Lands Day on September 22 from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. So, if you are so inclined to want to go out there and work, volunteers will construct a connecting trail as part of the expanding Heron Point Trail System. With a focus on curbing invasive plants as part of the national themes. They must have been looking at our yard.
Well, my yard anyway.
No, just kidding.
Actually, I have a scorched earth yard.
Scorched earth yard, yes. You don't have the invasive plant.
I don't have invasive plants at all.
Yeah, we kind of have the invasive plants. National theme of this year. Volunteers will also helping eliminate star thistle.
Yes.
Puncture vine and other unwanted weeds along the trail. Now, especially since a lot of that stuff is used for mountain biking, the puncture vines are, they're not good.
No.
All right. Shoreline nearby also become cluttered with years of floating debris. Volunteers can help with this and many other needed tasks. Pre-registration by calling 536-9094. 536-9094 if you want to volunteer for New Maloney's Trails.
You know, this is the first time I've ever heard them call for volunteers.
Really?
In all the time I've lived up here. So it's actually...
Have they felt they've been above volunteers?
I don't think so. I think maybe they've had enough.
Oh.
But this is definitely a worthwhile thing to do. Get out there and help out with New Maloney's. And New Maloney's is beautiful. It just is.
And we just got an email.
We did? From who?
From Madeline.
Oh, Madeline.
It is the summary for the board meeting.
Ah.
So since you went, you have no need to view this because you have the summary
right inside my head.
Yes.
So.
But should you care to refresh
my memory?
There you go. And also, Music in the Park is going on right now.
Oh, well.
No, actually, you have time. You have time. If you finish up the news here at 6 p.m. on a 6 p.m. viewing,
you have time to run
hop
over
in the
there.
car and go on down. It is Jimmy Kiger and Donnie McDonald are Men of Worth.
Yes.
As opposed to Men at Work, wasn't that another?
That was an 80s band.
That was an 80s band.
Yes.
The Vegemite guys.
Exactly, Down Under.
I don't think they're going to do that stuff. Anyway, it is a Celtic folk duo to present the first-class music. Oh, Celtic, sorry. Excuse my...
It's the Celts, not the
basketball
team.
Yes, not the Boston. So it's the Boston Celtics?
Celtics.
I'm just joking.
Celtics.
Okay. The Celtic folk duo to present first-class music in Murphy's. Donnie McDonald from Scotland and Jimmy, now, since I'm screwing up my pronunciations.
Kiger.
From Ireland are Men of Worth, a top-notch duo who will perform music from their homelands at the Calaveras County Arts Council's Music in the Parks in Murphy's August 15. This free program will start at 6:30 p.m. in Murphy's Community Park along the creek in Algiers Street. Food and libations will be available from the hut, or you may feast on your own picnics.
Oh.
Bring blankets or chairs to sit and be ready for a wonderful evening, thanks to Men of Worth, who blend humor and musical aptitude.
Ah. And you mentioned libations. And apparently, this is sort of an interesting little headline.
On libations?
On libations. Officials okay tax hike for sugary alcohol drinks.
Oh, yeah,
Did you hear about this?
The alcohol pops. Huh?
Exactly.
Yep.
The decision, which affects alco pops, such as Mike's Hard Lemonade, is a victory for the group opposed to underage drinking. Apparently, what this did is it allowed a tax hike for those drinks that used to be classified as beer.
Right.
And they are just sort of like the Smirnoff water coolers and the basically the wine coolers and that type of thing. They are now, well, actually the ones that have hard liquor. Wine coolers don't have hard liquor, do they? They have wine in them.
Right.
So, like the Mike's Hard Lemonade and those types of the Jack Daniels drinks are now going to be taxed at a higher rate. So I thought that was sort of an interesting little twist on what's going on.
And a couple little things we should probably bring you up to speed on fire stuff. There aren't any big fires, but there's little stuff. There's a pair of small vegetation fires burning in the Stanislaus National Forest. 9 a.m., half acre, but from Dorrington. See a little bit of smoke in the area. The other one's 11 miles east of Long Barn, broke out early this afternoon.
Yeah.
So there, if you see some smoke in the area, there is some small vegetation fires. Nothing to really be alarmed at or anything like that. But there is a little bit of smoke going on. So if you see a little smoke,
that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Exactly.
Let's see.
And actually, in news from across the river, this is Tuolumne County. This is sort of an interesting little. I always have trouble with this computer.
Sorry.
It moves slowly, so it's like
your other one was silver.
Mine was like flashed, so I got taken back to this one.
Since we're trying to work on aesthetics, this one works a little better.
That's right. Aesthetically. But across the river, the Sonora Planning Commission has approved changes to the Sonora Inn. And the Sonora Inn, if most people who drive into Sonora, when they go down Main Street, you'll know that the Sonora Inn is on your right-hand side.
Right.
And the Bank of America is here. It's at the lights. And apparently...
Is this technically the Days Inn now?
The Days Inn, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And they wanted to do renovation, and it has been approved that they will do renovation and sort of... My understanding is change where the entrance doors are, but also make it more Spanish architecture than it actually is right now. So I thought that was sort of an interesting little tidbit from across the river.
Across the river?
Across the river, because sometimes, when we're driving over there from our little county.
None of us ever have to go to Tuolumne County.
No, never.
No.
Or Amador. No, never.
We try to keep those tax dollars
right here.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Another little thing on CCWD news. CCWD is announcing that they have completed the pipeline extension in Rancho Calaveras.
Yes. They've been working hard on that.
Director of Utility Services for Calaveras County Water District reports that construction is complete on the water pipeline extension along Highway 26 and Jenny Lind Road in the Rancho Calaveras near Valley Springs. Now, if you ever drove past it during construction, they had that place torn apart.
They did. And they spent millions on this.
Yeah. And Mozingo Construction completed the installation of 2,700 feet of 12-inch ductile iron pipe. That's some big, heavy pipe.
That is.
So that should be good for 100 years?
Probably.
Right?
We hope.
Isn't that going to be good for 100 years?
But they're still advocating conservation down there as far as water conservation.
Well, they're always everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean,
absolutely.
But now no one should have low pressure now. But water pressure will continue to be monitored for several months.
That's what Pearlie said.
And this is all words from Bill Pearlie. And if you have any questions. Okay, should we read the conservation notice at the end?
Yes, let's just read.
Never mind. All right.
We'll pretend we have a teleprompter. Go ahead,
this is our teleprompter.
Yes, this is our teleprompter.
You're getting early in the morning every other day helps you keep usage within the system's design limits of 1,500 gallons per day per household.
1,500 gallons per day per household.
And if you have questions, call 754-3543 and ask them.
That's right. I only know kind of water jurisdiction and water law.
Not water conservation.
All right. There's a purple pipe and there's a white pipe.
Yeah, you don't drink
from the purple pipe. Although, as you stated earlier, you probably could.
You probably could.
But I wouldn't advocate
I think it's just that mental thing. Because I saw in Australia that they were starting to put recycled water back into the main city system, starting in Australia.
Really?
Yep, they were, because they were having a little bit of some drought issues.
Wow.
So I think that was one of the first municipalities anywhere to start. To start doing that. Yeah.
Okay. So should we move on to some other state news?
Well, why not?
Besides
so we covered local fires. What else
That's
we cover?
Right. Local announcements.
So I think you're...
The Chamber of Commerce. Going to the state fair.
Yes, Chamber of Commerce.
Boy, I have no idea what Victoria will do if she doesn't bring back a gold this year. She was so upset that we got silver last year. We had a cool exhibit last year, too.
Sometimes, yeah, because the other one, I think they were talking about the other one hired a pro, huh? The other county hired a pro.
But you know what? They give them out in groups. There's just not one gold awarded. There's multiple golds, multiple silvers, and then there's one grand prize winner. And I think that county last year hired a consultant. Design consultant.
A couple little bit. Oh, you want to?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about obviously state budget hasn't passed, and I think
and nobody cares, right?
It's only like 14% of the people in the state of California even know about it. Yeah. Exactly. But what I think is interesting is, I don't know if you've heard about this headline: Denham unmoved by rallies or threats. He's not budging on the budget. That's the message State Senator Jeff Denham, Republican from Merced, is shouting after a chorus of demands this week that he personally end the state spending stalemate. It's a message you'll soon see in your living room and hear in your car. This is from the Modesto Bee. And it's very interesting to me that he's the Republican being targeted to cross over. And he's also facing a recall as well.
And he's facing
a recall.
Wow.
And yesterday, Governor Schwarzenegger actually visited Denham, was my understanding, to try and convince him to walk over. And then the other Republican, who I can't remember off the top of my head, I should know that, who did cross over, he told him he was so happy that he had crossed over. So that's sort of an interesting little tidbit. Also, California healthcare reform in 2007.
Yeah.
This is LA Times. So where are we now? This headline: pretty much worse than ever.
Okay.
Sure, people are still talking about change, but the budget mess in Sacramento has derailed virtually all other legislative business for 2007 and sapped momentum from the healthcare movement. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting what's going on in the state right now.
And we just received an email from my wife.
Oh.
Kim. And so if you look at the pinetree.net, you'll notice lots and lots of the stories have Kim Hamilton attached to them. That is my wife.
Yes.
And she tries to keep me in line. Some days she's more successful than others. But she wants to talk about the Art in the Park.
Right.
Big Trees Art in the Park is getting ready to start up tomorrow, actually. Starts tomorrow in Big Trees. And this is the Bear Valley Arts Association stuff. And actually, they do a really nice art show.
They do.
And in some ways, they just finished up their run at the Bear Valley Music Festival. And as nice as that one is, it's in a fairly austere building. You know, it is a little. So when they do the art at Big Trees in the Jackknife Hall, it's actually much. I think it presents better.
It's a warmer atmosphere.
I think so.
It is a warmer atmosphere.
So that starts up tomorrow, and we wanted to
touch on what's going on with the Lake Comanche mobile home.
And this even made News 10. This even made Sacramento news.
Not Ebbets Pass, but the East Bay Municipal.
Yeah, them.
Yeah, East Bay Mud Utility
Mud guys,
District.
Yeah.
East Bay Mud guys. Were slated to make a decision yesterday, actually, about what to do with the mobile homeowners at Lake Comanche. Now, if you remember, they had a water management report that was actually, or plan that was actually, it was written up many in the 60s. And it allowed for certain pockets around Lake Comanche to be available for recreational use.
Right.
And initially they were just sort of tents and RVs and that type of thing. And then what happened is that mobile homes ended up moving in because it was a year-long income stream. And now these people own these mobile homes, and there was concern that they would have to leave.
Yeah. And I think also for them fiscally, because unless they got these arrangements made,
there was concern about water quality and that
devalue their holdings as well.
Well, yes, exactly.
You know, it made it so they had no way of. And a lot of these were older people that selling
their
mobile home or something was they.
If you have no lease,
Yeah.
You can't sell. I mean,
Yeah.
the house is actually
And
worthless,
sometimes those
essentially.
on the mobile homes, the lease and where it's at's worth more than the...
Exactly. But East Bay Mud was concerned about multiple things, not just the fact that this had changed through the years, but also there were sort of water quality issues and water management issues as well. But what they decided is to allow everyone to stay.
Which, that was a nice thing of them, don't you think?
Exactly. So I guess everybody will be happy.
A little touch on national news before we head into, I guess international news almost, before we head into there, is it's being reported recently that there is a magnitude 7.5 quake near the coast of central Peru. Now that's big.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll have to see what...
What's the fallout from that?
Yeah.
Oh, bless you.
Sorry about that. Anything else on national you want to touch?
There's a lot.
Anything exciting? There's a lot.
lot.
But I mean, because they don't tune into us for national news, though, do they?
No, they don't.
And tsunami warnings have been issued there. And interesting thing is, they were talking about the troop surge. What?
Go
Am
ahead.
I going all over the place?
No. Go ahead.
But this is kind of interesting. Is General Petraeus is going to propose troop cuts in Iraq?
Yes. Yeah. The thing is that you're just never quite sure where anybody's going to land anymore. There's so much information out there that it's hard to...
On Iraq and everything else.
Try to disseminate it is interesting, even for us. For us.
Us trained news professionals.
Yes. Actually, I thought this was interesting. I've been hearing about this for quite a few years now, and apparently there are studies now that show that women are actually not running for office in the numbers that they used to. And what's happening is a lot of the women who are already holding office in the state legislatures, governorships, and actually on the congressional level, they're rolling out. And
really,
other women are not stepping up to the plate to be elected. So that's sort of an interesting thing. And I remember hearing that about 3 or 4 years ago, but now apparently they have the data to prove it. That's what's going on. So,
well, should we do weather?
We should do weather.
Let's do some weather.
Okay.
All right. And Arnold, low of 65, high of 84 tomorrow. Low of 59, high of 84 on Friday, high of 80 on Saturday. So it looks like good weather.
Good weather. Okay. You're going to have to do the weather.
All right, you got it. Bear Valley. Low of 53, high of 79, high of 78 on Friday, and a high of 73 on Saturday. And it's looking, and we're now entering the time of year where we have the red flag fire warnings.
That's
basically,
true.
and that will probably be consistent
August,
now
September.
through October.
Absolutely.
Murphy's, high of 90 tomorrow, 93 on Friday, and 86 on Saturday. I mean, we're just doing pretty good.
Actually, it's nice weather.
It's not bad.
Very nice.
It's really
not too hot.
Really not so bad. And look at Angels Camp. 87 for tomorrow, 91 on Friday, and 89 on Saturday.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice. Do we do Bangor, Maine?
All
right, I guess I'll be the weather girl. See,
we're excited. Weather girl today.
We're excited about our new screen because we'll be able to do... we'll be able to do like this. Weather.
The weather.
Yes. Bangor, Maine, 74 for a high, 51 for a low, 72 and 57 on Thursday. And Friday, and it will be 77 and 50, and Saturday, 70 and 48.
70 and 48.
And we thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And hopefully we can keep adding stuff.
That's right. Make it more exciting every time you tune in.
And I know this didn't add much content, but isn't our new sign pretty? Yeah. Woo! And we will try to make sure it does more than just display that.
Display the sign. Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you very much, and you have a great night.
Good night.
Good night.